skateboarding is really good. Skateboarding culture is toxic. Man, I really couldn't agree anymore with that comment. I've been actually thinking about this a lot lately, and we're gonna go skate some pools today. So we're gonna talk about how to find pools, how to skate pools, and just like a pool adventure. But I also want to talk about the skateboarding culture being toxic, because I agree. Oh, back off.
You are here, then you are there. You're everywhere, in my mind everywhere. Tell me, are you friend, or are you foe?
I would have counted that. His foot came off, kept rolling away. To me, that's even gnarlier, but he wants more. He wants to get it clean. He wants to do it the way that he wants to do it, and that's okay. Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you can't just accept things, and you got to keep pushing forward.
Better than the rest, but you won't let me do my work.
It did rain recently, and we're not coming very prepared. So if you're a pool skater, you probably have a shot vac. You got all sorts of stuff. It's like a thing of its own, but outstanding. So only a few buckets. So we're gonna get it out. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna skate this pool.
I'm gonna find it.
You tell me they whisper, you tell me they talk. You say I can't be away.
This isn't any permission. This isn't someone's backyard letting us skate their pool. This is a barge.
Joshua Leonard Berlin is the one that commented the title of this video. It's kind of the one that motivated me to cut out and kind of make this video. So if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all you. With pool skating, it's like people are really protective of their pools and they don't want to share their pools, and that's fine. One quick little story that I'm trying to talk about, or I guess that's in the back of my head as I'm saying this, is there was a pool that was emptied a couple years ago. Me and Al actually went there, and it was when I worked for Fox Footwear, and I made an edit of Al skating the pool, and I put it out there, and then one of the guys who's also a filmer skated that pool and kind of helped get the pool emptied, was really mad at me. He's like, how dare you put out an edit before I put out an edit? And yeah, that just goes to show like how toxic the skateboard culture, the skateboard scene can be at times. And like I said, the whole NBD, ABD thing, that is really weird, because we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to other people and like their level of skateboarding. You should really just be comparing yourself to yourself. How do you advance yourself, not how do you advance based off somebody else's ability to do something. I haven't skated a pool probably like over 2 years, or emptied a pool in that long, so definitely got to get my feet wet and kind of get used to it. Pool skating is not like anything else. There's so much tight transition. Like look at this transition down here. There's literally none. So that's what makes it special, and that's what makes it cool in a way. You know, skateboarders are just trying to manipulate these pools, but you can't really manipulate them because they're hard to skate, which is part of the fun part of the challenge. Looks like the butter zone. I'll be hyped if I could just get like a grind right here. That's the line. You still going? Yeah, you haven't fallen off. Whenever you're going to any skate spot, I feel like that's the first question that anybody asks is what has been done, what hasn't been done. So I think the whole ABD, NBD thing is really toxic within skateboarding, but honestly, I just kind of wanted to open up a dialogue with you guys as well and kind of get your feedback, because that comment really got me thinking. Is this how you get out of here? You go this way?
Yeah.
Okay. That comment really got me thinking, because it's like skateboarding culture is pretty toxic. Like there's some there's a lot of things. This video can turn into like a 3-hour documentary about it. So we won't do that, like glorifying drinking or glorifying drugs, for example. That's one other way that can be kind of toxic, but that's nor here nor there. My point that I was trying to get to just now is I'd love to get your guys' thoughts and feedback on this. So definitely comment down below, and I'd love to just kind of start a conversation around this topic, because I think this is something that I do want to touch more often. I'm gonna barge this hotel pool. One way you could find pools is going on Zillow or anywhere where you can like look for properties and just look for pools and for sale or foreclose, and that's one way to get like quick pools, a quick look in your area depending where you live. And pools aren't everywhere. It's definitely like West Coast thing. There's a lot of good pools. There's pools on the East Coast, but let's transition. But yeah, we're gonna barge this pool. I don't know how long we're gonna stay. This is kind of one of the situations you gotta roll the punches.
I've always found it easier to hop on the other side of that roof.
You got to respect when people tell you to kick you out. You got to leave. You can't just keep barging. So homie's kicking us out, but hey, he's doing his job. Sometimes you got to respect people. I hate when skaters like get all mad at the security guard and they're trying to kick them out. It's like, dude, they're literally doing their job. So it's like, I don't know, to get mad at this guy would be really lame, because we're obviously invading his property. Hey, thanks man, thanks for being cool, appreciate that. Cool with the people that are kicking you out, sometimes they'll be cool back. It's like a mutual respect. You're clearly in their territory, so you gotta be vulnerable towards them. It's not the other way around. Definitely one thing too, it's horrible to say, but like when there's fires, a lot of times they kind of destroy the homes and then they leave the pool. So that's the one thing that kind of stands, kind of like a cockroach, right? So yeah, super hype. This thing looks insane. One of the cool things about pool skating and pools in general is they're always different. They're always unique. Like this coping right here is like square. What do you call this coping? Is there a name for this?
I call it meatloaf.
Meatloaf. So it's like meatloaf coping because it like sticks out. It's really beefy, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not round. It's gonna be a lot harder to get on when it has that like really tough edge on it, but you can still skate it. It's still possible. You can do a lot of airs, a lot of different potential. It kind of makes you skate differently. So that's the cool thing about pools, right? They like make you skate differently. They make you adapt to your environment, which humans naturally do. Just cleaning up some of the fine cleaning up some of the dust and the dirt that's been collected. There was no rain actually. It's like almost like mud. So getting the final touches going. Then we're warm up in this pool. Warm up. I mean, we're warmed up. It's been a long day, but we're keeping it going today. We're juicing. That's the thing with pools, you never know. Like there's no guarantee. It's not like a skate park where you can just like baby foot it, or street skating where you can't baby foot it either. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you don't have this like moment of getting close. You either have to fully commit to it and either take the slam or take the make. I don't know. That's all on you, man. I can't tell you whether or not you can do something. I could give you the courage to land it, but I don't want to tell you whether or not you should try it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. 100%.
I think you got it, but you know, whether you try it is up to you.
It doesn't feel there. It just doesn't feel lost. Lord Jesus, let's do another one. Fucking come on, baby. It's just a fucking pro side here, that's all it is. Still scary the second time. That's a big love seat. Most love seats are a little bit smaller. That one, it's hefty. Another one. There we go. Fuck yeah, that's what I want. That was over top. We're good.
Dude, that was
Next pool,
amazing.
baby. I'm fucking hyped.
I love you.
Oh, I love you.
You're so
Now
good.
come here. I love you. I love you. All right.
Something that I noticed when I was trying that is like you started to kind of run up and go again.
Yeah.
And I think like, and you could chime in, but I think what helps in those moments, what Al was doing is distracting his mind from overthinking it, and he was like constantly going. So when you're in repetition of belling, sometimes in order to not bell, you gotta not think, and what that means is not going up the deck and giving yourself time to think. Is that
exactly?
Is
that
that
was
accurate?
spot on dot. I was thinking too much every time. I was like, I can't do this. I was talking myself out of it, and I was like, I got to a point where I was like battling enough in my own head. No, you got it. Inside my mind's no, you're gonna slip back. You're gonna hit their head. You think, you know, you always think doom and disaster around the corner, but 99% of the time it never happens. So yeah, like Dowdy was saying, I kept running up, distract my mind. I got this shit, and sure enough, it worked out. Thanks to you for the support, being here.
Killing it. Yeah, and I wanted to talk real quick about like, I don't like to tell people that they should try something. I think it's up to them to try it. And then once they're trying and they're comfortable, then you can motivate them. I'm not saying you can't push your friends to try things. I think you should push your friends to try things, but let them get comfortable with it. Because I think like that peer pressure can be just like kind of toxic in general.
Good, Sash. I was really overcoming barriers in my mind. That felt good, man.
Oh yeah.
I love doing that. In the
best.
moment, it's the hardest thing.
Alright, I'm going to wrap this video up with asking some of your guys' questions from the previous video. Nargoyle said, on a plateau with learning tricks right now, whether it's commitment or technique, how do you come over those long plateaus? Man, this is a really good question. And one of the things that I would recommend is changing your setup. And I actually got a puller board yesterday. I'm going to be doing a whole video on setting up this board, the new transition board, completely Christmas complete, which I haven't done in like 5 years. So I think that's one way you could kind of like break up that plateau if you're having a hard time learning tricks or just progressing, is switching up your setup, and it'll kind of make things fresh for you. Another thing that you can try doing is just not skating at all, like riding a bike or going to exercise and then going skating, so you're distracting your mind. And then the third thing that I would suggest with this is like try listening to some music when you go skating. I'm not always listening to headphones when I go skate, but sometimes I do, and it helps just like mix up that funk, because I think a lot of times when you're in a plateau, it's like a psychological thing. So whatever you can do to kind of like refresh that. So hopefully that helps. L201UZ, what a username. He said, what is your worst skate injury and what's your funniest skate memory? I'm going to go with what was your worst skate injury, because I've seen that question quite a lot in the comment section. And honestly, I don't have like some crazy story. I'd say probably one of the worst injuries is a broken wrist that I had. And the reason that it was so bad is because it was broken for so long and I was still slamming on it before I went and saw a doctor. Eventually I did see a doctor and I got a cast on it and it healed up. Amelia Williams said, what's your favorite skate video pre-2010? Mine's got to be Baker 3. Thanks for all the videos, dude. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go with The End from the Birdhouse. That was like a video I watched on repeat, and I think I really liked that video because there was transition skating and there was street skating, and the soundtrack was amazing. There was like a whole cinematography to it. I obviously really enjoyed that part of skating, and there was like a storyline. People were on fire going off the end of the OB pier. So yeah, The End was my favorite video. I mean, I can go into the details of other videos, but I think if I have to pick one, it's The End. That thing was scratched up. I had it on VHS. All right, last question for this video. Sebastian Morano, he said, exercises, stretches, post-skate session, things you do to stay healthy and injury-free. I actually do want to do a whole video on this because I've seen quite a few questions like this, but one thing is just, you know, not stopping and just like sitting in a car. Definitely like moving around, keeping the blood going, massage gun. There's a whole bunch of different techniques. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to get straight to it, but I think one of the things that you can do is just constantly exercising and doing things. Like yesterday, I didn't skate too much, but I was still pretty active. So I think if you're not skating and if you're just sterile when you're not skating, that's going to like hurt you in the long run. So even when you're not skating, walking, exercising, running, anything like that, I walk like 4 times a day when I'm not skating, just around the block and stuff, just to keep the blood and things going. So hopefully that helps. See you guys in tomorrow's video. Mash.